Don't give up, you gon' be on. Don't give up, don't give up, give up. Don't give up, you gon' be on. Don't give up, don't.
Greetings, Redheads. Thank you for joining me in another episode of your favorite show, the one, the only Reds View. Make sure that you subscribe to youtube.com/WeAuthenticNetwork. Now, you know I always do great interviews, from throwback interviews to current. Today, I have a very, very special guest. He is a multimedia entrepreneur. He has so many things under his belt. We're going to dive into all that today. We got Mr. Rob Schwartz in the building. What's happening, man?
What's the deal? Rob Schwartz in the place to be. We are here at the Reds platform, man. Ready to get this interview popping, man. I'm having an awesome day, man. And I'm glad I'm here. Thanks for having me.
Man, thank you for coming, man. And it's a pleasure just to have you on here. I think that a lot of people will be able to learn from you. All of my redheads out there, if you're trying to get into this, not just the music industry, but the TV film industry, this is a very vital interview for you to hear. So, yeah, man, and we need to get those likes up, hit that like button for us. So, man, Rob, man, you have a very, very lengthy career, but we're going to start at the very beginning, man. First of all, just let everybody know what you actually do. You're a man of many hats, like myself, but you got a lot going on. So let everybody know what you really do.
So I own a multimedia company, whomag Multimedia. It's actually our 20th year. Also, I own a music distribution company. I've been with Sony Orchard for 11 years now. So with the multimedia company, I own 3 music TV networks, 3 music TV shows. With the distribution company, have like 1,000 releases, including a Grammy Award-winning album, multiple #1 Billboard albums. That's all through Sony Orchard. I do movies, have a movie production company. Do a lot of movies. We just wrapped one up recently, coming out this summer, called The Retaliators, with Better Noise Music. It's like a $3.75 million movie. I was one of the production managers on that. Yeah, I do a lot. That's just the tip of the iceberg, but that's kind of ballpark what we do.
Yeah, definitely, man. It's just so much that you do, and I commend you for that. Because, like myself, I want to continue to build, and you can motivate and inspire others. That you don't have to be. The thing I respect about you a lot is that you don't have to be limited to just one thing. You can do multiple things, and then be able to expand and all that other stuff. So, how did you start all of this? Like, where did it first begin? You getting into the music industry?
Man, that's a hard story because it's been ever since I was like little. So I don't even remember all of it. I just know I loved hip hop music in a place where hip hop music really didn't even exist in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. I had to find my own ways to get into it. And I guess there was a time, it was my senior year of high school. There was this girl that I was friends with, was dating this guy. He was best friends with this guy named Mike Elliott, who had a TV show back in the day called Crush Rap. I used to watch all the time. And he came to my school. I got to meet him. It was really cool. I went back to his house, and he just had all these VHS tapes of his hip-hop videos that blew my mind. I thought I knew everything. I realized I didn't. And then I went to college. One of my professors hooked me up with a job at Polygram Records. So I actually put out Jay-Z's first single, Blase Blase, Jerry the Damager, Dougie Fresh, Beanie Mans. It was a company called ILS Distribution, which was Polygram's independent label distribution. So that was my first like taste in like the real world of music. Mm-hmm. There I went to LA, worked with Babyface's team, a lot of his songwriters as a songwriter. Came back to the East Coast and I started my company. It's been 20 years. whomag Multimedia.
Man, and you said Polygram Records. I know quite a few artists that have been on there. I know in particular J.R. Ryder was over at Polygram. But you said that you helped put out Jay-Z's first single?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Woo, y'all see that right there, redheads?
Here's sticker.
Oh, man.
Bumper sticker.
Oh, wow.
I got the original promo card. So he used to spell it with the 2 dots above the Y. But this was his first single he put out. Debut 12-inch and cassette single in my lifetime.
Oh, man.
So, yeah. Yep, that was on Payday, FFRR. Damn. That was before he had his deal, his solo deal with and did his own thing. He put under that. But that was, it was crazy was I was doing distribution, like it was 2 records. It was Jay-Z and it was J.O. Felony, the Sherm Stick, which I actually have the promo for over here somewhere. But they were pushing Sherm Stick harder than Jay-Z to the college market. And I was just getting out of college. I'm like, no one in my college knows what a Sherm Stick is. This Jay-Z record's hot. And J.O. thought he had a hot record called Sherm Stick. But I was trying to say, yo, you should go with this Jay-Z. They went with the Sherm Stick. And that's kind of when Jay-Z left and did his own thing. We didn't really get the promotion it was supposed to. But I was a peon at the label, so it didn't matter. So anyway, yeah, it was cool. It was cool to actually put that record out.
Man, I know my co-host DJ PM, once he sees that, he's going to be very excited. He's like one of the biggest Jay-Z fans I ever met.
Someone actually offered me $1,000 for those 3. I told him no. I actually had the cassette too. The cassette's up on the wall.
Oh,
So I had the CD, the cassette, and it's the promo. Like the holes punched in it and everything. It's the original promo.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's crazy, man. So you go from the music and then you dive into whomag, right? Mm-hmm. So the first one was whomag TV, right?
It started off as whomag.net. It was a website in 2001, 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. And then what happened was there was an investor that wanted to put money into us to start a magazine. He said, let me see what you guys can do first as a website. And we became one of the biggest websites out. And meanwhile, we were hosting our original video content. We did a lot of interviews. This is before YouTube. So there was no real platform to put videos. So we did it ourselves. And what happened was, once we did it, I put together with the business plan, this DVD of just some of our interviews and stuff. And come to find out the guy was BSing us the whole time. He was never planning on doing it. So I was kind of heartbroken, but I had this DVD I put together. Didn't know what to do with it. I had a day job. I don't know what to do. So, and you know, DVD magazines were huge in the streets. Cheddar, Smack, all of them, huge. So I actually took a different strategy. I found this book. They had like 300 addresses of DVD distributors. I mailed it to every single one. Out of it, only 2 responded. And because of that, this was the first hip-hop DVD magazine ever on Netflix, Blockbuster, Walmart, and Target. This is when Netflix was the mail-in Netflix.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Blockbuster, mine was in special interest. It was my DVD, Jane Fonda, and a cooking CD on DVD all in a row because there was no hip-hop, really. There was like 1 or 2 of the music ones, but nothing to do with hip-hop. So the first one was to break into the Blockbusters, and it became a huge hit. From there, I turned into the TV show because I was doing volume 2, but this DVD got so big in Europe. TV network that was on Sky TV network reached out to me and said, hey, can you make us to a TV show? And I was still at the day job. I had no idea how to do it. Got Final Cut 3. You know, that's how long ago it was. You know, again, this is pre like YouTube. So I bought Final Cut for Dummies. There was a Final Cut for Dummies book. Yeah. I bought it and taught myself Final Cut and made a TV show. And it got picked up. 120 million households throughout Europe, and it became a huge success. I brought it back to the U.S. in 2009, and that's when I left the financial world. And that was 11 years ago. So,
man, and see, what's crazy is that we don't understand like today's age. Like me, I didn't start doing my media stuff until YouTube, you know. So just explain how it was back then as far as like with the Smack DVD era and just like when everything was on DVDs. I know even DJ Vlad talked about how he was putting together DVDs. Like what was that like back then?
Well, here's the thing. I live in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. I'm an hour and a half from New York. But when I first started working in New York and I got to go up there every day, you see they're all over the streets. So it was great. Like I bought them all, I had boxes of them somewhere. I probably threw a bunch of them out. I still have a whole bunch of those old ones left. But that's where you got your hip hop. Before that was magazines. Like there was no internet. There was nowhere the news wasn't talking about hip hop. You had to buy a magazine. So the DVD magazines came out. Now you actually get to see these artists. You can hear them freestyle. You can see all this kind of stuff. These interviews, you won't find it anywhere. So they became so big because of that. But they were always just in the streets. They were never really into the mainstream stores. So like, I'm glad I got to be a part of that culture to help break it into the mainstream stores. And the reason why is it's clean. There's no curses. There's no guns. Most of them are clean. Most of them, street. I made mine. I'm not a street person. I don't ever pretend to be. So I made it the way I did it. And next thing you know, it worked.
Yeah, definitely. So, man, that's just remarkable. Because when I have people who, were in the music business or anything like from the 80s, 90s, all the way up, it's always interesting to me how things worked back then opposed to now. Because nowadays, you can just learn how to edit and you know, go to Fiverr.com and then have somebody do stuff for you, and then you can easily upload stuff on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Like we're doing right now, you can go to Zoom, but back then you really had to grind it out. So that was interesting to me.
Yeah, with distribution back in '95, when I was at Polygram, it's so different than distribution now. Back then, distribution was Mondays. My job was taking one sheet of paper, going to the photocopy machine, making it this many sheets of paper, folding them all up, put them in the envelopes, putting on the sticker, licking them. That was Monday. Tuesday was record day. Records came out on Tuesdays. My job was picking up the phone, calling every single record store, mom and pop store, making sure they get all the CDs in. That was Tuesdays, making sure keeping count. Wednesdays was promo day. You know, with the promos. Thursdays was record store file day. We called every single store. Remember, this is before the internet, really. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All the stores. How many did you sell? How many do you need? Friday, we ship them out. That's distribution. Now it's, you just upload it to the cloud system. You know, through Sony Orchard, we have a whole back-end system. You know, we're way bigger like a DistroKid, TuneCore, CD Baby, but even something like that. Now distribution is just uploading the song and it goes everywhere, and you get a check. It was so different back then.
Yeah, and I bet the transition now, like to where, like you said, like you got TuneCore and you got all the distro sites out there. You just easily upload your stuff and then it's there. Back then, just a hard work, and that's what I appreciate the most. Even when it comes to DJing and stuff like that, how the DJs had to, you know, boxes of records and stuff like that, dude. Like that's crazy. So I can y'all for that. So the transition, right? What year was it that you saw? Did you foresee it going digital, or like when did that transition happen from like physical to digital for you?
I'm always ahead of the times. I think, you know, that's just the way I've been, man. And even with finance, I was in risk management, so I'm always good at analyzing stuff. So we launched the website. We were one of the first hip hop websites to have original content. We're the first DVD to break in all those places. First TV show to premiere in Europe. Hip hop show to premiere in Europe. When I launched a distribution company in 2010, there weren't a lot of other independent companies like mine. But in 2012, I was the first hip hop company for a network on Roku. I launched on Roku in 2012. No one even heard of Roku. It's like 4 years later. Mm-hmm. Take it back to YouTube. We were probably the first hip hop company to partner with YouTube because we had so much when they launched. We had all this content, so they came us to be a partner. Where I was the first hip hop company ever verified on Facebook. So I'm always trying to be the first, and all this stuff I have proof of. It's not like I'm just saying stuff. I can prove everything I say. Right. So we were the first hip hop company approached by Twitch. I didn't do it. And I wish I did, but the thing was, Twitch, I had to be on there for a certain amount of time every day, and we're in discussions, and it was just too much. So I didn't do it. But then when the pandemic hit, everybody went to Twitch.
Yeah.
So, but you know, we get offers all the time, and to me, it's like I never try to do what everyone's doing. I always try to trailblaze. There's a lot of stuff going on now. I just got off an exciting phone call for the last 2.5 hours. So like, it's really figuring out what's happening next and do it, and then figure out what happens next and do it. You know, and that's what I love about this industry is, you know, technology makes technology, so it moves faster and faster. If you're a reactive person, that's cool. You know, you can get the breadcrumbs, which people can live off of. But if you're in the forefront, those are the guys who kind of win. So just figuring it out before it happens.
Definitely. And you were out back then before a lot of these sites, you know, because now the sites now, you get your news there, you get your new music that they break, and then you get the videos and all that other stuff. But you were one of the originators to come up off of that. So
I mean, here's the thing. I mean, we started 2001 with the website, and I mean, our competition was like Rolling Stone, and there was a few other sites. There weren't that many. So the first interview I ever got on my site was Randy Jackson from American Idol during season 2. It was the biggest show in the world.
Right.
And after they go to deal with someone who interviewed him to buy it off of him for $100. And I launched my entire business off of this Randy Jackson interview, because now all of a sudden all the labels are like, how'd you get Randy Jackson? It's like the biggest show in the world. Like, these guys are untouchable. Yeah. So now it's easy for me to get all the artists to come in, and that's kind of what happened. So even like when we switched to DVD magazine, our site was still on top of the game. We had like about almost 300 interviews on the site, the biggest names in music. But everyone started doing websites. So we switched to the DVD, and then we switched to the TV show, and everyone started doing TV shows. We switched to the TV network.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's got their networks popping. We're on top of some other stuff all the time. But it's always figuring out what's next because, all right, cool. We were the first one on Roku 9 years ago. Now there's like 1,000 hip hop channels on Roku. And all they're doing is playing videos. There's no content. We have 3,000 interviews. I did 3,000 interviews for our programs. We have more original content than anyone. I picked up catalogs. Dance Party USA was a big show in the 80s and 90s. Everyone from Tupac's first performance, Gangsta, Heavy D, Madonna's first appearance, Duran Duran's first appearance. I got all the exclusive rights. So we have a big people that come over to watch it through my network. So we always got to be the biggest. And when people start coming up and catching their lane, that's cool. I don't need to flex. I just need to go somewhere else and figure out the next thing. And that's what I do, you know?
Yeah, definitely, man. I applaud you for that, being the first. But you have to have that mind to be able to move forward, because if you don't, you know, you'll be stagnant and say, hey, I did this, but then the next 10 years passes and then it's a whole nother platform, a whole nother way to do everything. So how important is it to you to always think it, what keeps you on that I'm thinking ahead of the game type of thing instead of being comfortable?
The great thing is with my distribution company, again, we have about 1,000 releases. I talk to artists all day. My job is the best job in the world. I talk to creative people, creative artists all day long. I worked at Merrill Lynch. You know, I was under so much stress every day, 7 bosses, and managed the team. It was the worst. I get to talk to intelligent people that do what I love to do and hang out with them. And that's my day. It's great. And I made a business around what I love to do. So talking to creative people and being that we have so much content, we have so many TV networks, so many artists, opportunities always come to me. Now I'm always looking for them. I'm always out there, but because of what I have, I mean, my inbox is filled every day. One thing about me is when I go to bed, which is usually like 3, 4, or 5 a.m. every night, I don't go to sleep until all my emails are answered, all my texts are answered, for the reason that when I wake up the next day, I want it to be a brand new day. Let's see what we're going to focus on today. Right. And just knock something out the park. You know, my motto, if it's in your reach, grab it. If not, run up and take the mother. You know what I'm saying? Just get it. Like that. Don't let anything stop me. I've been through a situation. I've been through tough situations. I've been practically homeless at one point, almost figured out the strategy. I've been hit the reset button a couple times trying to figure out life and restructure and re-strategize. But that's what it is. It's like, I don't use the term hustler. I'm a strategic thinker. Hustler, if you're a hustler, you're always going to be hustling. If you're a strategic thinker and you can figure out strategies to build residual income situations, you never have to hustle again. So everyone's like, I'm a hustler. That's cool. Y'all could be a hustler. I used to hustle music videos. I was a music video director, did 35 videos. I was hustling too.
Yeah.
But I had to get out of that. I had to get out of that mindset, because if you're a hustler, you're always chasing money. But how do you sit back in a place and just chill, and then your Cash App keeps going off, and your PayPal keeps coming in, you can chill with the kids. That's what you got to think about, is how to be strategic and build those residual income streams and sources of income without hustling and still doing what you love to do all day.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of ways to do it, but people just got to change their mentality.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's stick to what you said about the directing of the videos, because you said that you did 35, and I know including Papa Roach. What other video? First of all, how did you get into video directing, and then who have you directed videos for, including Papa Roach?
That's a good question. So the first video I ever did was a group called T Weapons, and they just had a song with Pitbull that was called Mira Mira, the remix. It was a Latin group out of New York. I'm best friends with still to this day, and they came to me to be interviewed on my TV show. We just struck a nice, reputation together, and they had a float in the Puerto Rican Day Parade. We sponsored it. This is 2005, 4 or 5. My logo, whomag logo, was on the Puerto Rican Day float. I said, I got a camera guy who does my interviews. Let's just do a music video. I've never done one before. And what's crazy was T Weapons, and it was some unknown rapper named Joel Ortiz on our float too. So Joel Ortiz is all over our video, and I get to hang out with Joel before I even knew who he was, and he was just so mad cool. Like, after that, I managed an artist named Santalina. So we did 3 videos on her that I directed, just because she was my artist. And then when I left the financial world 2009, that's when I was like, when I was moving to the office with my best friend, Mr. Mig, we're like, you know what, he had his music studio, I had my company, and I just got more into videos. So a lot of my videos back then were actually more EDM dance music based, but I had a camera team. We had the red cam. So everyone was coming to us because we had the red cam. I shoot very different. I'm big on storyboarding, like real stories, real locations, not this, okay, you get 3 shots, let's wrap in front of a car, let's go here, let's go here. Like I'm shutting down like Halloween amusement parks and doing like strategies. If you ever watch my videos, you never see the same spot twice. It's storyboard. There's actually stories like a movie. And then the Papa Roach one came around was because I was working on that music Retaliators coming out this summer. I was one of the production managers. I was the consultant coordinator. And everyone else in set didn't have to do a music video. And they wanted to do a music video of Papa Roach with a group called The Who. Now The Who is HU, who, not the old school 60s group. It's a Mongolian rock group and they're humongous. If you look them up, every video they have has millions of views. So it was just, everyone's kind of intimidated about doing this video. They said, Rob, you could do videos. Can you do this one? I'm like, yeah. So I produced it. And we shot a whole day on set that day. And then that video, if you see it, it's so crazy looking. We shot that whole video in about 5 hours because all the locations were set up for the movie. And that video now there's 2 versions of it. It's Papa Roach and The Who. It's called Wolf Totem. Combined, there's 20 million views between those two videos in the last year and a half. And then I also did a video recently for the 470s, which is a legendary R&B group from the 80s. And I actually wrote the song. I wrote that song for them called Fly With You. And they're working on the video. I'm like, you know what? And I stopped doing videos. I completely stopped. The Who video, the Papa Roach, they made me do it, which I'm glad. you know, but the 470s, like I didn't want to do that video. And I was like, you know what? It's my song. I had the vision of it. Let me do the video. So I did that video too. But otherwise I stopped. You know, I'm more focused on running the companies, but it's still fun doing it now and then.
Yeah. So all in all, right now, man, you had the DVDs, you had the TV companies, you directed music videos, and let's go into something else that's very interesting about you. You became a voting member of the Grammys. Mm-hmm. What year was that?
2012.
2012. Okay. Now this is a question I have for you about that. All right. So do you feel like, as far as the hip hop culture, you know, with the history with hip hop, the genre, they've always had issues with the Grammys, you know, from the first time when Will Smith won over, you know, all the quote unquote real rappers and all that other stuff. And then I think around 2012, Kendrick Lamar ran into the same thing with Macklemore. Do you feel like the Grammy, the voting as far as the Grammys is fair when it comes to hip hop, or what's your take on that?
I mean, you have to understand the Grammys are a nonprofit organization, right? Being so, a lot of labels contribute to the Grammys. So a lot of voting members are for the labels. The reason why Macklemore's win was such a big deal to music, and yeah, people may have been upset because he beat certain people out. Macklemore was independent, and it's almost impossible for an independent artist to win a Grammy because the labels have a lot of voting members, and they all vote for their people. So to have an independent artist win, that was a major victory. That was. So it gives faith for independent artists that they actually have a chance. As far as hip hop, I've never been a fan of the people that won the Grammys. Really, you know, I'm a hardcore hip hop head. You know, my hip hop is different than what people call hip hop out there now. So, and I love the fact that I have so much music sent to me all day. I have so many great hip hop artists. But the mainstream ones is not really what I listen to. So do I think it's right who they pick? Remember, it's how it's picked. First of all, I'm a voting member. Being a voting member, it means I get to vote in my people into the first initial running. Mm-hmm. So there may be 400 artists they're voted in. Then out of that, nominations are picked. The 5 nominations, which we all know is the nominations. Then the nominations is the winner. So now, if there's 300 artists up there, let's just say 300 in the hip hop category, you know, people are going to see some names that they don't recognize because it could be someone putting their independent artists through that are voting members. And you have all these big names. So you have to go through it. And people, and why you kind of hope everyone's kind of picking because of the music. At the same time, you have the labels picking because it's their artists. So it's kind of how it's structured. So, you know, and I love the Grammys. I hated them until I became a member. I'll be honest with you. I was anti-Grammy until I became a member. And then I came there with big aspirations to help change things, and when you understand like the basics behind it, and they really look out for artists. So people look at the Grammys one way, but they're the ones that went to Capitol Hill to fight for the royalties that Spotify wasn't paying out. So when people say all this bad stuff about the Grammys, there's so much good stuff too. Like these artists would be making half what they're making now for Spotify, the little bit that they're making, if it wasn't for the Grammys fighting for them. The Grammys have been very active fighting for these bills. Even now, the bill that got passed today with Joe Biden, there was a big piece that the Grammys fought for so that the venues could get a piece of that, because they may not qualify, but now they do. Even with the unemployment, they fought for artists to have a separate section, because all these artists, they made money by going on tours. Now independent artists can get the unemployment. So yeah, remember, this is the Grammys voting for this. This isn't the president saying this. It's the Grammys. So no matter how you feel about one side or the other, they are fighting for the concern and the betterment of the artists.
Definitely.
I love being a member. I'll tell you what, man, at the Christmas party, it's a shame it didn't happen this year, of course, because of COVID, but I had so much fun seeing all the other Grammy members, and we have a great time. Pink Sweats performed the last one, and I've always been a big fan of Pink Sweats, so it's great to see that. And Jeanne, the group back in the day, with Don Baylor group, she performs. It's just cool to see all the Philly people. I'm a member of the Philly chapter in one room. Troy Puth came by one time to do something for us. So it's cool, man.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's what's up, man. That was a great insight too, as well. Things have changed so much as far as like the streaming services and how artists get paid and things like that. So that's real good insight that you put on there. So with iFame TV, that's available on Roku and all kind of networks, right?
Yeah, we have 3 networks: iFame, whomag Multimedia, and Video Vision. So right now, iFame, we just started restructuring it last week. So it's temporary. We're switching over to a different platform. But iFame was the very first hip hop channel ever on Roku in 2012. whomag Multimedia, we launched about 4 years ago. And Video Vision, we launched about 1.5 years ago. Now they're on Roku, Apple TV, Google Play, Fire Stick, everywhere. We have a free cell phone app. whomag Multimedia is the app. Or go to whomagtv.com. whomagtv.com is their website. You can, and there's no other urban channel touching our channel at all. And I'm just saying that because it's mine. It's like you put any channel connect to my channel. Or ours is original content. We're not ripping stuff off of YouTube. We have incredible content. We have movies. We have tons of movies, TV shows, series. We have thousands of videos, and they're all user submitted or our artists. We're not just ripping stuff off of YouTube like everyone does the top 40 videos. All our stuff is our content that we have 100% permission in the air. Yeah.
So with indie artists, how would they go about getting their material on whomag? Is there a way for like the videos? Because it's a lot of videos that are out here. Do they submit it to you, or how do you get it on there?
Everything is submitted. Music at whomagdistribution.com, or you just go to whomagtv@gmail. whomagtv@gmail.com. But you can go to the site too, whomagtv.com. There's a contact page, and we look everything over. We don't pick up everything, because we're careful. We put up there for our image, but and we look for good music. It's got to be good. And even with a distribution company, we have 1,000 releases. People think we're all hip hop. Most of our stuff is hip hop. We have everything: R&B. We have kids records. We have comedy albums out. We have rock, EDM, everything. But everything I have, we have nothing to whack. Everything we do, we don't pick up whack artists. If you're good in what you do, we recognize that. And the music is one thing, but the second part of it is the people. Like I actually talk to every single artist. DistroKid gets 28,000 uploads a day. So you're just a number to them. You'll never be able to talk to anybody ever. You can go to FAQ page if you have a problem. With me, the first thing is I pick up the phone and call you and fill you out, because if we're going to work together, we're going to work together. If I'm not getting the good vibes, then it's cool. You know what I'm saying? We have so many big artists. We have so many international artists. We have a lot of independent artists. We're always looking for artists to come on board to grow with us. But, we're looking for good people with good music.
Got you. And I think that's important too, because, with I think what separates you from the other distro sites is that, like you said, I put out great content, meaning that if it's a person that doesn't know anything about these artists and everything like that, they're able to come and listen to some good material versus somebody who's just getting you money and just putting putting it out there and not doing anything. It seems like you want the artist to win at the end of the day.
That's it. I look at my distribution company as a fraternity house. We're the cool fraternity on campus. Like everybody wants to get in. Like we have so many submissions all day. Everybody wants to be a part. But we're selective when we put in it. Because we have fun. I do parties. I do stuff like we do physical compilations. We do like cool stuff. We have our own playlisting. We have the 3 music TV networks. When I do my parties, my last party I threw before COVID, I had 350 people come. It was free to get in. It was sponsored by Hennessy, Belvedere, Pepsi, C4 Energy Drink, About the Hops Brewery, Shinju Japanese Whiskey, Blue Diamond Vodka, all free liquor. Free to get in, free liquor all night. I had 17 of my artists perform, and I had 9 surprise secret celebrity performers perform. And it's a hidden location. It's not in a club. I don't do nightclubs. I do dope spots. Last one was at this TV network. And before that was like this closed down brewery. Like we do cool things that nobody else does. And newspapers always write at my parties. That's how big they are. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. But we always do cool stuff. And when everyone comes, you're like, damn, I got to be part of that team. And I always hook my artists up together. Like, all right, you know, you're strong in here. This guy's strong in here. I think you guys will make a good fit. Why don't you guys collab? And I always hook up people internally because it helps my company grow.
Yeah, that's what's up. And diving into, because you did mention songwriting. So, were you ever a hip hop artist, or you just wrote for other people, like, you know, other songs and stuff like that?
I tried once, and I was terrible. I used to write for my friend Mike. This guy named Mike Clark, one of my best friends at that time. Still, I talked to him the other day. He was a singer, and I met when I was in college. He was a few years older than me, but a friend introduced us, and we just started writing together every night. And then he brought me to the studio. I was like, yo, can you do a rap? I'm like, yeah, no problems. I love rap. I can do this all day. Never tried it, and I did. I was just terrible. So I stuck to songwriting. So together we did a song. We worked with his manager at the time, also a manager guy named Daryl from a group called As Yet. As Yet was a big R&B group back in the late 80s, early 90s. They had a big song called Last Night. So they were signed to the Face Records. And that's what got us to go out to the West Coast. We worked with a lot of artists out there in the West Coast. Didn't work out for me. There's a hope to, though I had so much fun. I got to meet Jermaine Jackson, Nelson Mandela, so many people, blow your mind, people I hung out with when I was in the West Coast because of that situation. But financially, put me in a bad spot. That's why I came back to the East Coast. And didn't write much more after that until I started working with the girl Santalina, who I used to manage. And recently the Force MDs, Fly With You, which soultracks.com, which is probably the biggest R&B website geared to that category, actually nominated my song for Song of the Year, which was kind of cool, called Fly With You by the Force MDs.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. Yeah, man. So it's so much that you have done and contributed to the game. And I think, like I said originally, it's important for people to know that you can do more than one thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you've literally named like 5 things that you're a part of, and you're keeping going. What in the future do you have? Like, what's the next big thing that you're thinking? Because you're always 10 years ahead of the game. So what's the next big thing?
I don't even want to talk about this next thing I'm doing because this could be game changing for everything. Yeah, but there's a lot. And back to your question, why I do so much, everything ties in together in its own mad way. The TV networks are music-based, so the artists come for being a TV network. Next thing you know, I'm doing their distribution. Become a distribution, they go to the TV networks. If it's an artist, they want a song, I can write a song. You know, if it's something to do with the TV network, say you have your own show, guess what? I have the TV networks. So we have the networks, the shows. Now I produce my own shows, which got me into movies and TV shows outside of music. I had my own show on Fuse. I used to direct my own TV. I was on the Fuse TV network about 5 years ago. So it all, in its own way, revolves around my love for music and being involved with music. What's happening in the future? Movies have been a little bit slower, of course, because of COVID. We do have a couple of things coming up. I'm excited about. I can't talk about it yet. We have a couple of new projects coming up. One I guess I can say is one called Finding Christmas, which I'm one of the producers for. We shot the first half already because I didn't have a Christmas field, so we had to shoot it during COVID, waiting for the other half. Got hired to be the music supervisor for a couple more movies. Got a couple of new video games coming at me for music. So that's stuff I could talk about. But as far as right now, the distribution company is on fire. We put out about 60 to 100 releases per month of great music. And it's just growing faster and faster. So it's always trying to figure out the next thing that nobody else is doing. And then I'm just going to kill it. And there's a lot of stuff right now that we're about to kill. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely, man. Well, man, you've covered a lot. It's much more, but you covered so much within this time frame. Again, I appreciate you for coming on to RedsView to, share it with what I call my redheads out there, because a lot of them do watch to be inspired and learn from people and stuff like that for growth. And I learned as well. So thank you again for coming through. Man, so how can everybody reach you as far as social media? And then, of course, the whomag? I mean, that's obvious, but how can everybody get in touch?
Everything is whomag. All the social media is whomag. Facebook, Instagram. I just started my Twitter, so don't judge me on my Twitter. I just started it. But everything is whomag. I'm easy to get a hold of. Email is whomag@gmail.com. Site whomagtv.com and whomagdistribution.com. Against our 20th year. So very easy to get a hold of.
Okay. All right, y'all. Yeah, y'all heard everything, man. Anybody want to give a shout out to?
All of my team, man. I mean, all of my artists, everyone that believed in me since day one. You know what I'm saying? And everyone out there who's maybe in the future. Like I say is, if there's a wall, just knock it down, man. I mean, here's the thing about everyone. One thing real quick about, right, the COVID really separated a lot of people. A lot of artists of mine are saying, hey, I'm going to fall back and wait. While the other half is saying, I'm going to go out there and grab it right now. It's the best time. And it is the best time. So stay motivated, stay active, win. Don't take no. Just do it. If you're going to do it, don't talk about it. Just do it and tell people you did it after you did it. I don't want to hear about you going to do something. Just do it. And then just have a drink and you tell me about what you did. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, absolutely, man. Y'all heard it from the one and only Rob Schwartz, man. Again, thank you so much for coming. Make sure you subscribe to youtube.com/WeAuthenticNetwork. You already know where to follow me at JAYR3D, and also visit redsview.com. All right, man, this is J Red, Rob Schwartz, and we are signing out.
Don't give up, you gon' be on. Don't give up, don't give up, give up. Don't give up, you gon' be on. Don't give up, don't give up, give up. Don't give up, you gon' be on. Don't give up, don't give up, give up. Don't give up, you gon' be on. Don't give up, give up.